Hello, welcome to this first Google SketchUp tutorial. So for those of you who don't know Google SketchUp, it's a free 3D CAD program. If you don't know what CAD means, it's computer aided design, and you will be kind of instructed in that area if you haven't been done so already. So don't worry too much about that. Okay, so if you're working at home and you want to download this, you just go onto your Google search engine, type in Google SketchUp. There are two versions you can download. One is the professional, which you have to pay for. It's not necessary, you don't need to do it. The second is the free version. That's the one we're going to be using in school, and it's more than adequate for what we need to do. So if you want to work on it at home, by all means go onto the internet and download that. There are Mac and PC versions available. Okay, so Google SketchUp allows us to create two different types of three-dimensional CAD files. The first one are quick three-dimensional sketches that allow us to experiment with size, proportion, form, surface decoration, and different types of materials. Okay, it's really good for experimenting with three-dimensional forms really quickly, so we can understand what's going to work and what's not going to work. It allows us for quick evaluation of our ideas effectively. The second kind of follows on from the first, really. So the second, once you've experimented with quick generation sketches and you've decided on one or two ideas that warrant further exploration, you can create more technical and detailed, accurate drawings that allow you to communicate exact dimensions, fixing details, and manufacturing details. Okay, but for this first tutorial, we're going to look at quick 3D sketches, and we're going to learn how to do that very quickly. So what you'll do, probably at school, also at home as well, when you load up Google SketchUp, you'll get a little wizard box like this that appears. And the first thing you need to do is choose a template. So click on this option just on the right hand side. There are lots of templates available. What we need is the interior and product design in millimeters. There's also in inches. Don't use that one. Use the millimeters. Okay. Once you've clicked on that, click on Start Using SketchUp. Okay, and then the screen appears. Now at the moment I've got lots of different options on my screen because I've already used this program, including this option down here. But when you first log on, you're probably only going to have this menu bar here. This is the basics. It allows you to create some basic shapes, but doesn't allow you to do the more complex things that we're going to need to do. So the first thing I'm going to want you to do is to go into View, Toolbars, and I want you to select the following options: Construction, Drawing, Measurements, Shadows, Styles, and Views. Okay, once you've done that, you'll find that all these boxes appear. Normally, SketchUp for some reason puts them all in kind of weird places, so your screen looks really messy. The way you sort that out is by clicking on the vertical dotted line on the left of each box, clicking, holding, and dragging, and that allows you to neaten up your tools a little bit. Okay, so your screen will look like this after a minute or so. And what you're going to do is you're going to get used to some of the tools that are available for us. The first one you're going to get used to is this one just here. That's the Select tool. It allows you to select lines or surfaces within your drawing. But the first thing we're going to do is click on the lady on our screen. She is there to give us a sense of proportion and size, but we don't need her for the purposes of our demonstration, so I'm just going to select on her and click Delete. Okay, so the Select tool really, just as the name suggests, just to select parts or entire objects on screen. The next thing I want you to look at are the three coloured lines on your screen. The blue line represents the vertical dimension, the red line represents the horizontal dimension, and the green represents the depth or how deep your object's going to be. So those are the three dimensions we're working in, and they'll become important for future tutorials, so get used to those. Okay, we're going to start by three-dimensional, really quick sketching. So just on the top of your screen, you will see lots of different shapes: circles, squares, rectangles, that kind of stuff, some freehand drawn lines, and a pencil. Okay, I'm going to start with some very simple shapes, so I'm only going to select the square and the circle. You can choose arcs if you want to. It's completely up to you, but let's start with the rectangle. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click once on my screen and draw a very quick shape. Okay, now at the moment I'm viewing in perspective. That means it looks like the horizontal lines here and here, also the depth lines here and here, are going to converge at a vanishing point somewhere up here, but in actual fact they're parallel. Okay, and if I click on the Views toolbox, which is this one here, and I click on the view from above, you will see that it's actually a rectangular shape and those lines are actually parallel to one another. Okay, so I've drawn a very quick shape. I've looked at it from above just to double check it. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to orbit around so I can see my shape from more views. Okay, so this is the orbit tool. You'll get used to this tool very, very quickly. I'm going to click and hold on the screen, and you can see that I can now look at my object from any number of different views, from above, from below, or from any different angle. Okay, that's a really useful tool. Next tool I want to show you is this one here. This is the push-pull tool. This allows us to take solid two-dimensional shapes like this and turn them into three-dimensional shapes very, very quickly. So what I'm going to do is going to click on the push-pull tool, click once and drag. Suddenly that shape becomes 3 dimensions and I can look at it from any angle that I want. Okay, I'm going to zoom out now because you can see that my shape has been cut off at the top. Zooming in and out in SketchUp is really simple. Just use the wheelie on your mouse, and if the shape isn't quite in the right part of the screen that you want it to be in, you can use this tool here. This is the pan tool, in order to bring it back to the place that you want it to be. Okay, so the orbit tool allows you to change the viewing angle. The pan tool allows you to move the object around without changing the viewing angle. Okay, so next then I'm just going to create a cylindrical shape just to show you. Push-pull tool again. Oops. There we go. You can see I've got 2 great shapes there, but they're very, very simple. What I want to be able to do is create more complex shapes, so I'm going to select this square tool again, the rectangle tool, and this time I'm going to draw shapes on the surfaces that I have here. Okay, so here we go. Push-pull tool, I can either pull it up or push it down. And very, very quickly you can see how I'm starting to create 3-dimensional shapes, far more complex than I would have been able to do this quickly by hand. So if you remember back at the beginning of the year we started looking at isometric. This is far quicker and potentially far more accurate depending on how quickly you get used to this program. So again, any surface you like, any shape you like, and you can push and pull. So your first task, guys, is to open up SketchUp, choose the correct template, open up all the tools that you're going to need, and just experiment with the program, see what it can do, what it can't do, and just even some of the options that I haven't shown you, have a little play around with those, and you might discover something brand new. Okay, good luck guys, you've got about 5 minutes for that.